All right, welcome back to the podcast, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it has been a while. Today we're going to be talking about space. That is the topic at hand today. We got this idea in our video production class that we take first hour, and we didn't know what we were going to do for the podcast today. And I think...
Well, everyone's been telling us that we need to do the podcast again because we all have just been really busy with school lately, so we couldn't.
I mean, not really him, but
yeah, I haven't. I've been watching videos like third period, doing nothing.
Yeah.
These two have been.
We take classes this semester that he doesn't take.
No, English comp. You guys have been like. No, pretty much the problem is English comp is that their teacher, Miss Long, is making them do really hard things, and my awesome teacher, Miss Billmeyer, is just kind of like, hey, read this and we'll talk about it in class. I'm like, cool. So
that's what we do.
Yeah, so
anyway.
they've been really working on their homework lately, and I have not. So, but you guys don't want to see videos of just me. If you do,
but also he's taking classes like home maintenance, and we're taking like
and that is
public
a
speaking,
hard class.
history.
dude, I have to learn how to cut wood with a table saw. How dare you?
Yeah. Anyway,
Home maintenance is hard, dude. You got
Um.
lots of hicks in that class. It's hard to keep up with them.
Mhm.
They know how to use hammers, and I don't.
It's true.
Are they like really good at that class?
No, actually, I'm still the smartest. Like, cause a lot of the class is instructions. So like, the teacher will be saying stuff like, "Oh, do this, do this, do this," and I'll be like, "All right, cool. I understand the instructions and I do it what he tells me to do." And then Nick's are like, wait, hold on, I don't know what to do here, and
Yeah.
wait, hold on, Mr. L, do I have to cut the wood at 6 inches, or do I have to, what do I have to do, what do I gotta do?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm still, like,
The
smartest in the class. Yeah.
So I think Mackenzie was like, "You guys got to bring back the podcast." Shout out to Mackenzie.
Yeah.
We told her we shout her out.
Shout out to Mackenzie Pavelka.
And I think that we thought of some ideas there, and we brought up like Mr. Stasny, your teacher, asked us what we normally do, and I said we did one about movies, conspiracy theories, and he's like, "Oh, conspiracy theory one would be awesome," and I think we kind of veered off onto space somehow.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, and then what I did is I looked at some cool space like mind blowing facts, and then we'll kind of talk about them.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I was a space geek in middle school.
Really?
Yeah.
You were a geek, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just a flat-out nerd, dude.
Okay. We'll pull out your facts.
You want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to go? Are you going anywhere?
Yeah,
with
go
that?
anywhere with your...
No, I would always look up a lot about space, and I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was scary. I thought a lot of it was kind of terrifying. I remember when sophomore year, I think they flew a satellite over Jupiter or something, and they got like sound. They got like some of the first like sounds from space or something like that.
Yeah, because
Space is silent.
one of my facts is that space is like eerily silent. Like there's nothing going. Like there's no sounds.
Well, like they flew it like very close to like one of the storms and stuff, and it's just creepy. It's just so creepy.
Yeah, and I can piggyback off of that. Did you guys know? You know that big red spot on Jupiter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a hurricane. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's storms.
What's that called again? Jupiter's red
It's the
eye?
Red spot. Red eye. I don't
Is
know.
it called red eye?
But did
Jupiter?
you know
Whatever.
that red spot is the size of 2 Earths? You could fit
I
2
believe that.
Earths in that area. And I looked this up and I was like, no way. Like, there's no way that's true.
What do you mean no way? Isn't it like?
Well,
six-
Jupiter's
I mean,
the
I
biggest
just, I had
60
never,
Earths in
well,
there.
no,
Like, I
because
totally believe
Jupiter's
when
the
they show
biggest
like
planet.
pictures, they show Earth this big, and then they show like Jupiter that big.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like there was like an actual side to side, like Jupiter's this big, and like the Earth is like that big
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because isn't Jupiter the biggest,
in our solar system.
in our solar system, the biggest planet in our solar system?
Yeah, I just didn't think it was that big.
Well, yeah, I didn't think that,
Like just to think in one huge hurricane, 2 Earths could fit in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I guess, I never thought about that because you see pictures of Jupiter and you see, like, that little red dot in it, you're like, oh, yeah, that's that
But it's
stormy
not even
area.
little. I think it's pretty noticeable.
Well, it's
pretty big.
noticeable.
Oh, no, I know, yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
zit, It's like a zit.
Yeah.
It's not great, but
Yeah.
you're like, Ooh,
And it's so interesting.
you're breaking
because,
out.
because ever since we've like came across Jupiter in like the solar system, it's always been there.
Yeah.
It's never not been there. There's always been a hurricane right in that spot. So yeah.
Does it move? Do we know if it moves or if it's just like constantly in that area? There's always.
I think it's just like that area because it always looks like it's at the bottom left, you know, in the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mhm.
Pull another one.
No, I wrote a for my final English project. I did a lot of research and wrote a big essay on how like time travel is possible, and it deals a lot with space and how like time is different in space.
Mm-hmm.
And so the theory is that if you get in a spaceship, stop.
I'm wearing my socks.
No, I'm not getting those back to you though.
Okay.
So if you get in a spaceship, theoretically, if you get in a spaceship and travel in space at like really close to the speed of light, by the time that you get back, it'll be like, well, this isn't like set in stone, but like if you travel 5 years in
Light
space,
years?
no, just like if
Okay.
you travel like at the speed of light for like 5 years,
Light years.
and then you come back. Well, it's not light years. Light years is like a distance.
Well, if you're traveling
It's
at
not
the
a-
speed of light for 5 years, they're light years. Does that make sense? A light year is how long it takes for a light to travel in a year. So if you are light,
If you're, well, it's close to the speed of light, so like nothing can go the speed of light.
yeah.
Actually, I think someone shot a laser faster than the speed of light. I don't know. You
That
can look
makes
it up.
sense.
Hey,
That
look
makes
it up if
sense.
you want to. But if you go close to the speed of light, like for 5 years, and you come back, it's something like 50 years will have passed on Earth, but you will only have aged those years that you were on that ship.
Yeah.
Kind of like Interstellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't it like you could arrive at like this is more hypothetical, but you could arrive at like a different universe or something, and like you could age a ton in like 2 minutes, and you'd like come back, or no, you would age their time there, but you'd come back and you'd be like 70 years old.
Mhm.
Basically Interstellar, right?
I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's
I've
the,
seen
the
that.
plot of Interstellar is like they're trying to find new life, or they're trying to find a way to preserve life on Earth. Something along the lines of that.
Yeah, I don't actually remember the plot, but
I don't know the plot. Yeah.
I do remember like they would go to planets and they'd be like, we need to stay on this planet, or not stay, we need to do whatever we have to do with this planet and then leave, because the longer we are on this planet, like if we spend 2 hours here, 20 years is going to pass on Earth.
Yeah, and on the ship, because I remember there was a scene where like two of the characters go on this planet, and it's like, hey, for every hour, it's like a year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then they were on that planet, and when they got back on the ship, like the guy on the ship
Yeah.
was old, because
Yeah.
he's like, you guys have been gone for 5 years.
That's
But
that's
to
so-
them it was 5 hours.
that's so spooky. Like
Yeah, that's wild. I mean,
I don't get
Great
how
movie.
that works with human anatomy though. Does that mean that like we have a direct correlation with time and that's why we age? You get what I mean? Like why would
well, I don't think time is relevant. Time's a construct, you know,
Mhm.
and it's just our bodies breaking down. It's not like after 20 years you break down. It's just over a long
But
span
okay,
of time
let's
your
say that
body
you are.
develops and
Let's say
breaks
you
down.
spend 2 hours at that one planet.
Hmm.
You still only spent those 2 hours. Like where along the lines does like 20 years become? Do you get what I mean?
I tried to
Yeah,
ask Mr.
yeah.
Johnson this, you know, like one of the smartest guys I know. I was
Yeah.
like, hey. And so he was like, if you roll this pencil, time slows down for this pencil, and like the distance changes between here and there for this pencil, and everything like changes for that, because it's the theory of relativity, I think, from Einstein's. And I was like, okay, but why? And he's like, just because. It's just because. And I was like, no, but why does time change for certain things at certain places? And he's like, that's just how it is.
Towards a theory, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. What's
look
next?
it up.
What's your next fact?
Well, this is relevant to this.
Yeah.
What are you looking
Time runs slower with respect to Earth on planets whose gravitational pull is greater than that of Earth.
So a planet with a different gravitational pull will have a different construct of time.
So a planet which is running dangerously close to a black hole will also have gravitational pull way more than Earth. So much more that 45 minutes on that planet would be equivalent to 23 years in Earth
Oh
time.
my gosh, that's crazy.
There's such things as wandering black holes. Because you know how black holes just suck everything up and into nothingness, pretty much.
That we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know where they
what's on
go
the other
actually.
side of a black hole.
Yeah. So,
We
but
can't
like,
even capture a picture of it.
but black holes are usually just it's there. Black holes are right here, but there's such things as called wandering black holes. There are black holes that just move and
I have a sweet thing.
Yeah, get to your facts.
I mean, this is not completely the same, but
Space Facts with Carson Gabber.
yeah, I'm trying to find this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, anyway, I don't think I put it down, but it was this thing called the Great Attractor, and it's outside of our galaxy, and it's like this super like beautiful like picture that they've captured through telescopes, obviously, and it's like everything comes to us. It said that our galaxy is traveling towards that thing, is like attracted to it and its speeds are at like 1.2 million miles per hour at a time. Like we are
Wasn't it like 600 kilometers per second
that we're like I
that
don't
we're
know.
traveling at that? Because
Yeah.
I watched a video on it.
Because we're going like it's like this like it looks like another like Big Bang kind of thing.
Okay.
Like everything in this universe, it looks like it's just traveling straight towards this thing. I don't know. I thought that was super cool, and it's kind of like a black hole, but it's not a black hole because we can take pictures of it.
That's wild.
And they connected it, and they think that it's called a white hole, but there's not like
Well, there's such things called a light. There's a dark hole or a black hole, and then a light hole.
yeah.
Because the theory is that I believe because black holes pull things into it, and light holes shoot things out of it.
Like what? Like what do they shoot out?
Well, I'm not sure like what they shoot out.
Well,
but
like I'm assuming
the
a light hole could be on the other side of a
yeah,
of
the
the black
yeah,
hole.
the theory is you go through a black hole and then you would exit through a light hole.
But also, you can't go through a black
But also,
hole and survive.
no one has
You
any
can't
idea.
survive.
So there's these ancient sculptures in like Egypt, and one of them depicts what looks to be an astronaut, like helmet, an astronaut like suit, what we look at as an astronaut suit and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so some people believe that that's evidence of a time traveler or someone that
Mm.
went through time and then like ended up there,
Yeah.
and that they have that sculpture of him because, well, I assume in ancient Egypt, if time travel came down there, then he would be considered a god
yeah,
because
yeah.
they
or,
don't know
or the
anything.
devil.
I mean,
Kinda like-
either one,
Yeah.
a greater power
yeah.
than them. So that's why they have a sculpture. And some people tried to disprove it and say, "Oh no, that was part of the renovations," but they later found out that that was not. Like, so there's renovations made to it and
They could have
reconstruction.
probably like figured out how they could date it and see how long ago it was.
Yeah, and it was before space travel was
That's crazy.
even like relevant or you know.
Yeah. What are you looking up over there?
These
Oh,
are
I was
light
looking
hole-
up.
They're
light
pictures
holes.
of light holes.
I was just looking up
Look up white hole because I think it's different.
white hole.
And what? Tell us a fact so there's not a
Okay,
lull
so
in the conversation.
this really blew my mind. When a massive star explodes, its scrunched up core forms something called a neutron star. Like we kind of know that. Neutron stars are so dense that just a teaspoon of their material would weigh more than Mount Everest. It's like it says the explosion can spin the neutron star to mind-blowing speeds up to 600 rotations per second. So okay, I kind of like looked into this more. I was like, that sounds fake.
Yeah.
And so there's this one star called like, they always like do like 3 letters and like a number, like whatever, and it's like means something. I forget what it's called, but it's like it's like so massive that like it's like I think it's like relative to the Earth in size, but it's like
It weighs
1,000
so
times
much?
like heavier than the sun or something like crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of the same thing. Like, just like how do they like a teaspoon?
Also, how do we even know that though? How do we?
Because of they know that like. Well, so I
No one's,
also
going
saw
over,
one.
no one's going over there with a teaspoon, being like, "Ooh, this weighs."
Well, yeah, but they can like collect. Well, no, they can't because this is
Yeah.
not an art. Well, because it also said that the sun makes up 99.86% of the mass of our solar system,
Mm-hmm.
which was like
Yeah.
okay, but and then it's kind of the same thing. Like, how do they know? So I think that they figure it out somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but
yeah, it's just weird to think that. I'm so curious as to how they can look at a planet and like get certain amounts of research and then be like, oh yeah, that weighs that much.
I mean, it is probably just sending a lot of satellites out there, sending a lot of things to fly by, and I mean, when they have something shoot by a planet, it's probably taking in just
tons of
unbelievably large amount of data. Yeah.
That's
Can
another.
you look that up? Can you?
That's another way of how
Something
we
about
can.
like the teaspoon thing.
That's another way of how we can travel through space faster. Is that
How
we
a
can.
teaspoon of
A certain star can weigh more than Mount Everest, something like that.
No,
We
but
can cross-check.
a good way that
might
scientists
explain
have
it.
found out to travel faster in space is to use the gravitational pull of planets. Like they tried to, or they did, launch a satellite like towards the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So it like got not very close, but close enough to the sun that it could use its gravitational pull and like pretty much whipped around it and
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
traveled 16 kilometers per second or something like that, which is
Yeah, like if something, it's kind of like you can kind of see it in games now, but like if you were to like travel towards Pluto, let's say, they'd probably put you in something like Jupiter's atmosphere to fling you around it and then fly you off even more, or like Saturn or anything. That's pretty.
I just
interesting.
wonder like
I
how
mean,
many
I feel like for a lot of this, it just comes down to like gravitational pull. I mean, even this says it weighs 10 million tons because the gravitational field is just so
Mhm.
big.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so much coming down.
Yeah.
and so much energy.
And it's not okay. Weight is not the right word. mass is the
Yeah.
right word. Weight is not the right word.
A teaspoon of
weight is a
neutron star
relative term
material
to
would
Earth.
weigh about 10 million tons.
Well,
I
was
don't-
that well? Then
Well, they-
weight is only like we said with time. I feel like weight is only relevant on like
Weight is an
is
Earth term.
is our Earth term. Yeah, because gravity's pushing down on us, and so that's our weight.
Mhm.
Is like relative to gravity pushing down on us. Like if you go on the moon, you're not going to weigh as much.
So like, let's say you're on this planet,
But our mass will always stay the same. Our mass is constant.
Yeah.
But our weight is different.
So this is what they probably did. They probably saw the star through a telescope, and they were like, let's say you were there on the star. Obviously, you'd die because you'd burn up.
Mhm.
But like, let's say you were there and you took a teaspoon. You would already die from being on a star because of the flames and whatever. But two, you die because of the gravitational pull. You couldn't live on that planet
Yeah,
or that
yeah.
star. So that's probably what they thought.
You know what I thought for the longest time? Like, I thought that heaven, you know how everyone's like, you can't get to heaven unless you die or whatever. I used to think that heaven was in the center of the sun, was located in the center of the sun because no one could get to it. And if you wanted to get to it, you just die because you just burn up. So I was like, dude, heaven,
It's
center,
the sun.
heaven's the sun because it's what we revolve around. I was like making so many connections to it. Obviously, hey, it still could be. It's not out of the question. We don't know.
Yeah.
This is probably one of my favorites. Is that it would take us 100,000 light years to start at one side of the Milky Way galaxy and reach the other. Like it would take 100,000 years for
Wow.
light to travel from one end to the other.
And that's just light.
Just thinking of where Earth was 100,000 years ago, we only know 8,000 years back, like Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
Just
Well-
thinking of like
Well, I mean, even like you like looking in the sky and seeing a star.
That
That
was-
star could
yeah,
not.
That star could be dead.
exist.
That star could
Yeah.
star could be dead.
And
the
there's
thing
still
it said
light
is that
just
the
shooting down.
the closest star to the sun is still emitting light from 4 years ago that you can see.
Yeah.
The sun is 8 minutes. That's the fact. Like it takes 8 minutes for sun to travel.
I mean, even they say like if the sun just didn't exist anymore, I think it would take about 12 minutes. Everything would be fine for 12 minutes, and then it would just.
Yeah, and then we'd all freeze to death.
On the spot. I also found.
Do you
some
think?
cool
I'm sorry. You no. I'm
I would
gonna
cut
talk
it
this.
short.
I'm gonna talk about this. Do you think that science is obviously sun's gonna be kicking for a long time? Like we got
sciences.
no the sun. Like the sun.
Oh.
Sun's not gonna burn out for a very
I think
very
they say
long
like
time.
15 billion years. or
Yeah,
something
we
like that.
got time. Let's hypothetically think about this. Do you think that science is trying to find a way to find ways for when the sun inevitably does burn out? Do you think science is trying to figure out a way to get energy or heat or some way to
No.
keep us alive?
Not right now.
I don't think if
We
it
won't
gets to
even
that
live that
point,
long.
I don't think I think we would be so advanced by that point.
We would be traveling on.
Yeah.
If we're talking, if your number is right at 15 billion years, we will not be living on this earth, probably.
Yeah.
Also, within the next 1,000 years, I don't know, I mean, this is controversial, like global warming and that stuff, but
Yeah.
in pollution and other stuff, like, we get our act together, like, we're kind of screwed.
Well, our Miss Childs was talking about how it's really just for on the topic of pollution and global warming, it's really just countries passion to get it fixed, because there was that one country, I'm gonna say Finland. It might not be Finland, but I'm gonna use the example of Finland.
Okay.
Where they went super hard on recycling and clean garbage and all that, and they really
reusing stuff,
reusing stuff and making sure that you recycle this, and where they would go through, I don't think they'd go through people's trash, but if they found
Germany. It's Germany.
it was Germany?
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Where if they found a plastic water bottle in your garbage, they'd fine you.
Mm-hmm.
They'd fine you for that, and they really cleaned up their
They're still sticklers about it.
they really cleaned up their ecosystem or their country with
They already
pollution.
Germany's at the top of the game as far as that goes, but it's also inflicting on their free will. Dude, I want to drink a water bottle. Just let me drink a water bottle. Yeah, I think that's interesting.
No, but yeah, I think it's really, like I said, it's just the country's drive to clean it up, because everyone can stand here and go, oh, global warming is going to be coming, or it's not going to be coming, but if we're not going to do anything about it, or if you're not going to fix anything, then nothing's going to get better.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to what we were saying. So the fact that one side of the Milky Way galaxy to the other is 100,000 light years is crazy. Just thinking, alone in our galaxy, there's got to be other life forms.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even the in the universe. Okay, so I also have this. It says our sun is one of at least 100 billion stars in our galaxy, and our galaxy is one of it. They use the same. Scientists calculate that there's 100 billion galaxies in the universe of the expandable universe. So it's not stopping. So when people are like, "There's no way there's other life forms," that's just ignorant.
Well, when you say that it's not stopping, how does that? How does that work? No, it's always expanding, but how do things just keep popping up, or
no? I mean, we know this energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's because of stars exploding,
Mm-hmm.
forming other things, like the neutron star we talked about from the giant star that exploded that turned into this gravitationally pulled crazy teaspoon. That one. So I don't know. I just think that's crazy that we are one of 100 billion galaxies in the universe, but it takes us 100,000 years just to cross our own.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that.
Well, again, if it's 15 billion years and we're leaving Earth and stuff like that, I think we'll be I maybe like Star Wars technology, just to the point where we can go wherever we want in a matter of minutes.
I don't think that's.
Light speed and all that jazz.
I don't think that's possible.
Well, like I was saying, you kind of think that it's not possible to be traveling at that speed, but the freaking iPhone wasn't even,
I was gonna say
even like a thing 15 years ago.
No, I get that. I just think that that's about technology. This is about like physics.
Okay.
I get, because one of the facts, everyone knows this pretty much, but just so I could say it, that like we have more technology in our phone than they did for the
Apollo craft.
Yeah, that got us to the moon. So like technology is getting there.
Mm-hmm.
In the next 20 years, who knows what's going on? But like this is more just like from a physics standpoint. I think that it would have a toll on like your body structure.
Oh yeah, because
And, like,
the amount of G-force.
Yeah, the
Love that
Gs.
movie.
Isn't
Love
that the
movie.
gerbil one?
It's
Oh
the
my
guinea pig
God.
movie. Going on though, the amount of because we can only this is another song, but our body can only withstand, I think, G6.
Like a G6.
No, but I think in my research of time travel, our body can only withstand the
6 Gs.
6
of
Gs.
force.
Yeah.
So I think that's where technology will be stopped.
Well, or they'll, we don't know.
Change.
They'll develop something
Yeah,
to where
I was gonna say. I feel like they're
like
We
we can be in a capsule and our bodies don't, and the
immune
G
to
force
whatever.
isn't like
And it's like
acted
the
upon.
same forces acted upon the other side or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like
I think it's super interesting, and I think we're living in a super cool era. We are at the start of like space travel.
Yeah.
Because SpaceX with Mars, we are literally at the brink of it happening, and like Elon Musk is like, he's gonna go down in history as being like the guy that started space travel for Earth. Like I think it's super cool.
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah. I mean, this is another kind of common fact, but when I saw it, I was kind of like, I've seen other like sun analogies to the Earth, but this is one. If the sun, if the sun were as tall as a typical front door, Earth would be the size of a nickel.
That's pretty crazy, and it's also crazy to think because I think the sun is one of like the smallest stars we know, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
I think it's like, so here's like
Well-
small star, medium small star, medium big star, big star. We're like medium small.
Yeah.
Well, and Curry said that
Smart boy.
if the sun is then a door, then like that Beetlejuice is the size of a hallway.
Or like, so that star's a rectangle?
Yeah, that star's a rectangle with a
And I know there's like stars even bigger than that, and they named them
Yeah.
by numbers. And letters.
Beetlejuice, yeah, they find a new star every day that's bigger than like the last.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think.
It makes you feel really very, very, very insignificant.
Oh yeah, the whole like galaxies and stuff. Yeah.
How we're this small dot.
This is kind of just like cute, not really, but like this says every hour and a half the International Space Station travels around the world and sees a new sunrise. Thought that was cute. I thought that was interesting. Like, I think
People
it's
get
cool how they
bored
can
of it.
travel the entire world in 90 minutes. Like,
Dude,
that's crazy.
There's actually a theory that there's no such thing as the International Space Station.
It's just government pictures
It's just-
of the
it's
fake
just-
Earth that is flat Earth.
It's just government pictures, and then like the International Space Station was built like underwater in a pool, so that it looks like it's floating or whatever, and then the people have like wires on them, so it makes them look like they're floating. There's like videos of evidence that shows the wires, or
That's no fun. Come on.
No, I think it's funny.
hey,
to say about
there'll always be one guy that's like, that's not real.
My favorite part about that is that, like, they really, I mean, obviously they're collecting data there, but, like, I think it's just funny that they just, like, run a Facebook page and just, like, have, like, updates about what's going on in, like, the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Just saw a new sunrise.
And
Pretty cool.
I remember, like, a few years back, I saw a picture of, like, Asia, and you would see South Korea, ton of lights at night,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
North Korea, just,
Yeah.
one area with, like, a light.
Except
Or, like,
Pyongyang or whatever it's called.
Yeah, which is insane.
Oh, yeah.
We're at 30 minutes. You can keep going.
It's gonna be a little bit of a longer one
I think I'm
today.
about
'Cause we're in this.
I mean, I think we talked about this in a couple of ones ago, but we know more about outer space than we do about the deepest parts of our oceans.
Yeah.
And you hate that. That's the one you hate.
I don't like that.
But I think that's...
Figure out our Earth first and not what's not on our Earth.
Also, it's just, I think it's easier to explore space.
Yeah.
Because we're sending all these
Dude,
satellites and all these things to record information.
There's nothing out there trying to kill people.
And, well...
Just get in a boat, you idiot. Just
But-
get in a boat.
But when it gets so deep, that pressure is just crushing whatever we send down there.
Which is insane because
Just get a
I don't
thicker
know.
thing.
I think
Get
that this
thicker sub.
this statistic only holds up because
Maybe we just care more
because of
about space.
pictures of like
Oh.
and like just knowing world history and like knowing when the Big Bang was.
And it's...
We have a bigger grasp on our space and like what's going on around it
Yeah.
than we do on like I said, the deepest parts of our ocean.
Well, and it probably just gets to the point where it's just mud. There's probably not a lot, you know?
Yeah, and
There's,
it's like
I bet a large percent of it is just
it's
mud.
like, and I bet a lot of it's there's like we'll explore it when we find out that there's a Loch Ness monster down there for sure, and we have picture evidence of it. Then there'll be like crazy flocking to it. But
Yeah.
like for now, if there's not any proof of anything, why would I like interrupt that Loch Ness monster's life?
We know there's
inside
life
of
here
it?
on Earth, but, you know, people want to see if there's stuff on another
Mhm.
planet.
And if that stuff is able to get to us, then we might be screwed, because if they're technologically advanced... I'm sorry, I can't talk today. You know, if they're advanced enough to get to our planet and, like, travel through space that we're, like, that we're unknown about, then who knows what type of equipment they have.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Amy.
Hey, we need Thomas.
Hey, we're shooting a podcast right now.
Yeah.
We don't really care. We need Thomas.
For what?
What do I do?
You need to sign off for your senior picture.
Why do I need to sign off for
Just sign his name.
No, you have to do it.
Throw it up here.
Why do I just put TL on that?
Yeah, just put TL.
You have to sign off.
Why do I have to sign off on that?
I think that it's cool to think. So the Big Bang was 13.6 billion years ago, is what they say, or 0.7, whatever, because they can date stuff,
Yeah.
and because we have picture evidence of it happening, and don't say your stupid joke. Anyway, so just thinking that like some other like human race or alien race in that 13.6 billion years could get so much more shit done than we did. Like,
Yeah.
because like think about, they say that the Earth is about 4.6 billion years old.
Well, yeah, that's because just God messed up for like a couple of years and made dinosaurs. And
Dinosaurs are fake.
then he's like,
Do you know that
I
conspiracy?
want that.
What?
The dinosaurs are fake and they're just a thing to make money off kids. You've never heard that?
No, I think you said when we were talking about museums or something along the lines, you said that dinosaurs are fake. Or museums are fake.
Well, not museums, but like
Museums aren't fake, they're not real. You think they're
it's a
building...
simulation. We are in a simulation.
He believes we're in a simulation. He believes in God. I do
And
too.
he's
No,
agnostic.
I think the simulate.
I love the simulation theory.
Yeah, it's a good theory.
I just like entertaining all these theories.
I loved entertaining the flat Earth theory,
I think it's
Just-
hilarious. Yeah.
just because like, if the Earth is round, cool. That has changed nothing for me. Still living on this Earth, still working the same. If the Earth is flat, cool. It's been working for the past 17 years. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. We can talk about Earth that later, but I just think, I mean, I guess it is different. Like maybe their planet was formed 6 billion years ago, and they had that 2 billion years more just to help them, or even like 4.2. You know.
mhm.
But like just thinking that there was.
But it gets
Uh,
into
there's-
that gravitational pull thing. What if it wasn't 2 billion years for them? You know?
Yes, but also
Ooh.
just think there was like 4 billion years on this Earth that we have no historical evidence of it happening. We only know the last 8,000 or so years.
Yeah.
Well,
Like that's just. And like, is that where we like attribute like
I
evolution
mean, maybe it
to?
wasn't a lot going on. Maybe it was just the Earth starting to form. Maybe it takes that long to generate
And
life.
dinosaurs.
I think it's crazy how we just made up time. We made up time for it. Like 24 hours has nothing to do with anything.
Well, also it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, no,
It's
but
not
like,
that, like,
no, but the
it's-
number 24 had nothing to do with it. It was like, yeah, the Earth rotates one time.
Well, I think we use the Mayan calendar. That's
But
where
still,
our,
like,
that's where our
like then,
current time system
like
comes
again
from.
though, then, like, none of it like needs to be what it is.
It's just a way to
Yeah.
use things.
No, I'm just saying it's crazy how it was just made.
Well,
up.
also time. It's a good way to associate with things with like medical issues. Like let's
Just
say,
be on the same page with me. Just be on the same
no,
page
I
with
am,
me.
but I'm just
no,
saying.
you're just arguing with me right
So
now.
like you can
I'm
Huntington's
upset. I'm upset.
Huntington's is genetic as we
Huntington's
learned.
disease? Really
It's-
bring up that?
Yeah,
Huntington's
it's
disease?
genetic, and we say that it comes out. You find symptoms in like 30 to 50 years old,
Mhm.
and like that's just a way.
I'm
to-
just saying the 24
Date
and
things.
24 hours doesn't need to be 24.
There's
Like
probably
why
a
is
reason.
why is there 24 hours in a day but there's also 60 minutes in an hour? I'm just saying be on my side.
Why can't there be like 100 hours in a day?
Thank you. Well, that's all for the Room 2 Third Period podcast.
Is there anything else you want to say? 'Cause you kept.
No, I don't know. I forgot.
We could do
We
a
got-
whole nother space podcast. I'm sure.
Yeah.
This will be split up into 2 videos.
And I mean, even if we said that, and even if we got into conspiracy theories, and because I don't know, there's just a lot of concepts,
Mhm.
and it's just
a lot of unknowns in this world.
yeah
We could probably
that like change the factors, like time and how it may be different for another world,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Well,
I was gonna say something. Well, leave 2 likes on the video if you enjoyed it.
one for me, one for Carson.
None for Cameron because Brendo doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the heck, Brando? I know you're watching this.
And we should be having a Valentine's Day special video coming out around Valentine's Day, hopefully on
But if we
Valentine's
don't,
Day.
it's my fault.
If we, it's not your fault. It's Arden's fault. Arden doesn't even watch these. I know she doesn't.
She said she watches some of them.
All right. Well, Arden, for watching.
Thanks for watching the Third
Yeah.
Period podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, roomies.
Bye.
I want to name him Bob with 2 O's. Just so like teachers would just be like, all right, and let's take attendance. Boob La Mountain. And you just be like, it's Bob.
I think the Liz one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Having the full name being Lizard. You would never know.
Lizard Gobber.